Timeless life philosophies.
Stoicism champions the notion that true wisdom and goodness lie in living in harmony with nature. It posits that a wise individual, a virtuous philosopher, is someone who prioritizes fulfilling their moral duties above all else. Such a person harbors no fear of the trials and tribulations of life, not of pain, not of death, not of poverty, nor any of the myriad challenges inherent in the human experience. Instead, their greatest apprehension is failing to uphold their moral principles and falling short of their potential as a complete human being. Now, let's talk about Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, whose name is synonymous with Stoicism. Renowned for his seminal work, Meditations, Marcus stands out as one of the foremost proponents of this philosophical tradition. While the concept of greatness may seem abstract, few individuals in history are as deserving of such a claim as Marcus Aurelius. However, let me be clear, this isn't another run-of-the-mill self-help spiel. Rather, Marcus's philosophical insights offer profound solutions to the myriad challenges of contemporary life. The virtuous emperor. Imagine yourself standing in a vast forest, surrounded by towering trees, swaying gently in the breeze. Each tree, tall and proud, is a testament to the natural order of things growing, thriving, and fulfilling its purpose without a second thought. Now picture Marcus Aurelius as one of those trees, rooted in wisdom and virtue, reaching for the sky with unwavering determination. Marcus believed in living in accordance with nature, but what does that really mean? It's more than just frolicking in fields of flowers or communing with woodland creatures. It's about understanding your place in the grand scheme of things, about embracing your innate potential and striving to be the best version of yourself. Think of it like a river flowing effortlessly downstream, following its course with grace and purpose. Marcus saw himself as a part of that natural flow, guided by principles of virtue and integrity. Now, let's talk about virtues. Marcus Aurelius wasn't just a Roman emperor. He was a beacon of goodness in a world often consumed by greed and power. He believed in the power of kindness, compassion, and empathy, qualities that set him apart from the decadence of his time. It's like being a lighthouse amidst a stormy sea, guiding lost souls to safety with your unwavering light. Marcus understood that true greatness wasn't measured by wealth or status, but by the depth of one's character and the kindness of one's heart. Imagine yourself walking through a bustling marketplace, surrounded by the hustle and bustle of everyday life. As you navigate the crowded streets, you encounter all sorts of people, some kind, some cruel, and some simply lost in their own world. Now, picture Marcus Aurelius in that same marketplace, not as a ruler adorned in gold and jewels, but as a humble seeker of wisdom and truth. He saw the world not as a stage for his own glory, but as a stage for kindness, virtue, and human connection. So, what does it mean to fulfill your potential? For Marcus, it meant embracing your strengths and weaknesses, your triumphs and failures, and using them to become the best version of yourself. It's like being a sculptor carving a masterpiece out of a rough block of marble, chiseling away the excess to reveal the beauty within. Marcus understood that greatness wasn't about perfection, but about growth, resilience, and the relentless pursuit of excellence. Now, let's circle back to that forest analogy. Imagine yourself as a tree, standing tall and proud, your branches reaching for the heavens. You may face storms and setbacks along the way, but through it all, you remain steadfast in your commitment to growth and virtue. That's the essence of Marcus Aurelius, a man who understood his place in the natural order of things, who embraced his humanity with grace and humility, and who left behind a legacy of wisdom that continues to inspire us to this day. Facing adversity. Life, huh? It's like a roller coaster ride full of ups, downs, twists, and turns. And just when you think you've got it all figured out, BAM. Adversity comes knocking on your door. But fear not, my friends, because Marcus Aurelius had a thing or two to say about facing life's challenges with courage and resilience. Imagine yourself walking through a dense forest, the sunlight filtering through the leaves, casting dappled shadows on the forest floor. You're strolling along, enjoying the peaceful serenity of nature, when suddenly, ouch, you step on a thorny vine. The pain shoots up your leg, and for a moment, you're tempted to curse your luck and blame the universe for your misfortune. But then you remember the words of Marcus Aurelius, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." See, Marcus understood that adversity wasn't something to be avoided or feared, but rather embraced as an opportunity for growth and self-discovery. It's like hitting a roadblock on your journey, sure. It may slow you down for a moment, but it also forces you to reevaluate your path, to find a way around the obstacle, or even to forge a new path altogether. Now, let's talk about those thorny characters we encounter along the way, the ones who seem hell-bent on making our lives miserable. Marcus Aurelius didn't shy away from acknowledging the existence of bad people in the world, but he also didn't let their negativity poison his own outlook on life. Instead, he approached them with a sense of empathy and understanding, recognizing that their actions were often born out of ignorance rather than malice. It's like coming face to face with a grumpy bear in the woods. Sure, it may growl and snarl, but deep down, it's just scared and confused. So, instead of lashing out in fear or anger, Marcus urged us to respond with kindness and compassion, to see the humanity in even the most unlikable of characters. After all, as he famously said, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. And what about those moments when life throws us a curveball so big, it feels like we're staring down the jaws of a ferocious lion? Well, Marcus had a thing or two to say about that too. He understood that adversity was an inevitable part of the human experience, like the changing seasons or the ebb and flow of the tide. It's like standing on the shore, watching as the waves crash against the rocks. You can either let yourself be swept away by the current, or you can stand firm, rooted in your own strength and resilience. So, the next time you find yourself facing adversity, whether it's a prickly thorn in your side or a roaring lion at your door, remember the words of Marcus Aurelius. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Because in the end, it's not the challenges we face that define us, but how we choose to respond to them. Facing adversity. Because let's face it, life can be pretty darn tough sometimes. But fear not, my friends, because Marcus Aurelius was like the ultimate life coach when it came to navigating life's rough waters. Imagine yourself standing on the edge of a precipice, the wind whipping through your hair, the ground crumbling beneath your feet. You're teetering on the brink of disaster, your heart pounding in your chest, your palms sweaty with fear. But instead of giving in to the panic, you take a deep breath and steady yourself, channeling the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius. The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it. See, Marcus understood that adversity wasn't just about external circumstances. It was also about how we chose to perceive and respond to those circumstances. It's like looking at a painting. Sure, you can focus on the dark, ominous clouds looming overhead, or you can admire the vibrant colors and intricate details of the landscape. In other words, it's all about perspective. Now, let's talk about resilience, the ability to bounce back from life setbacks with grace and determination. Marcus Aurelius was like the king of resilience, the master of bouncing back from adversity like a boss. He understood that life was full of ups and downs, twists and turns, but that didn't mean we had to let those ups and downs define us. It's like riding a bike. Sure, you may stumble and fall a few times along the way, but each fall only makes you stronger and more determined to keep pedaling forward. So, instead of dwelling on past failures or wallowing in self-pity, Marcus urged us to embrace each new challenge as an opportunity to grow and evolve. And what about those moments when it feels like the whole world is crashing down around us? Well, Marcus had a thing or two to say about that too. He understood that adversity was a natural part of the human experience, like the ebb and flow of the tide, or the changing of the seasons. It's like standing in the midst of a raging storm. Sure, the winds may howl and the waves may crash, but deep down, You know that the sun will eventually break through the clouds, and the storm will pass. Material possessions and death. Let's dive deeper into Marcus Aurelius' perspective on material possessions. Now imagine for a moment you're walking through a bustling marketplace, surrounded by vendors hawking their wares, each item gleaming with promise. It's tempting, isn't it, to reach out and grab that shiny bauble, to possess something tangible that you can call your own. But hold on a sec, because Marcus Aurelius would urge you to pause and consider, do these material possessions truly bring lasting happiness? Marcus, despite his immense wealth and power as emperor, viewed material possessions with a discerning eye. He understood that while they might provide temporary pleasure or comfort, they ultimately held little value in the grand scheme of things. It's like trying to quench your thirst with a cup of salt water. Sure, it might seem satisfying at first, but it leaves you feeling even thirstier than before. Instead, Marcus encouraged a more mindful approach to possessions. He believed in appreciating what you have without becoming overly attached to it. It's like admiring a beautiful sunset. You soak in its splendor, but you don't try to grasp onto it, knowing that it will soon fade into the horizon. Similarly, Marcus valued his material wealth, but didn't let it define him. He saw it as a tool to be used wisely, rather than an end in itself. So the next time you find yourself lusting after the latest gadget or designer label, take a page from Marcus Aurelius' book. Pause, reflect, and ask yourself, do I truly need this? Will it bring me lasting fulfillment, or am I just chasing after fleeting pleasure? By adopting a more mindful attitude towards possessions, you'll not only find greater contentment, but also free yourself from the endless cycle of consumerism and dissatisfaction. Picture yourself standing on the edge of a vast ocean, gazing out at the endless expanse of waves stretching towards the horizon. It's a daunting sight, isn't it? But Marcus Aurelius would tell you to embrace the inevitability of death, to see it not as an end, but as a natural part of the human experience. Marcus understood that death was an inescapable reality, like the changing of the seasons or the ebb and flow of the tides. It's like watching a flower bloom and wither, knowing that its beauty lies not in its longevity, but in the fleeting moments of its existence. Similarly, Marcus saw death not as something to be feared or avoided, but as a duty to be fulfilled. He believed that just as we are born into this world, so too must we eventually leave it. It's like being a guest at a grand banquet. You enjoy the feast while it lasts, but you know that eventually the party must come to an end. And instead of mourning the passing of life, Marcus encouraged a more stoic acceptance of death. It's like watching a shooting star streak across the night sky. You marvel at its brilliance, knowing that its light will eventually fade into the darkness. The Stoic philosophy. Picture this. You're navigating the ups and downs of life, trying to find that elusive thing called happiness. Well, according to Marcus Aurelius and his Stoic buddies, happiness isn't about chasing after external pleasures or accolades. Nope, it's about cultivating a sense of inner peace, regardless of what life throws your way. So, what's the deal with Stoicism anyway? Well, it's like having a trusty compass guiding you through the stormy seas of life. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control and let go of the rest. It's like being the captain of your own ship, steering through turbulent waters with courage and grace. Now, let's talk about pleasure versus happiness. Stoics understood that pleasure was like a fleeting ray of sunshine. On a cloudy day, it comes and goes, leaving you craving more. But happiness? That's a different ballgame altogether. Happiness, according to the Stoics, is a state of being that comes from within. It's like having a warm, glowing ember in your heart, radiating contentment and tranquility. So how do you achieve this elusive state of happiness? Well, it starts with embracing virtue. Virtue isn't just about following a set of rules or moral codes. It's about embodying qualities like courage, wisdom, and compassion in everything you do. It's like having a moral compass guiding you through life's maze, helping you navigate the tricky terrain of right and wrong. But here's the thing, virtue isn't always easy. Sometimes It means facing adversity head on, standing up for what's right even when it's not popular. It's like being a lone wolf howling at the moon, unafraid to speak your truth, even in the face of opposition. Now, let's talk about resilience. Life is full of twists and turns, highs and lows. Stoicism teaches us to embrace these fluctuations with equanimity, like a surfer riding the waves of life with ease and grace. It's about accepting the things we cannot change and finding strength in the face of adversity. But resilience isn't just about bouncing back from setbacks. It's also about finding meaning and purpose in our struggles, like a phoenix rising from the ashes, reborn and renewed. It's about turning our hardships into opportunities for growth and self-discovery. And finally, let's talk about acceptance. Stoicism teaches us to embrace life's imperfections with open arms, like a gardener tending to a patch of wildflowers, nurturing each bloom with love and care. It's about letting go of our attachments to external things and finding peace in the present moment. So, the next time life throws you a curveball, remember the timeless wisdom of Marcus Aurelius and the Stoics. Embrace virtue, cultivate resilience, and find happiness from within. After all, as Marcus himself would say, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. And there you have it, folks. Marcus Aurelius, the man who solved the universe. Well, sort of. He may have ruled an empire, but his true legacy lies in his timeless wisdom, his unwavering virtue, and his profound insights into what it means to be human. So, the next time you find yourself facing adversity or chasing after fleeting pleasures, remember the sage advice of Marcus Aurelius: live in accordance with nature, face challenges with courage, cherish the things that truly matter, and find true happiness from within. After all, as Marcus himself would say, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one.